Tonight at 6, the fate of the state's sanctuary cities law in the hands of a federal judge. The arguments each side made in court today.
Plus, a Supreme Court ruling on the president's travel ban.
It wasn't a big win for the administration. It wasn't a big loss for the administration.
Who is allowed in and who's still left out.
AISD's $1 billion bond back in the spotlight. Could it move forward tonight?
And a push for better cyclist safety in Georgetown, 5 months after a 19-year-old was hit and killed.
This is KVUE News at 6.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Rush.
And I'm Quita Culpepper. It's been postponed twice, but tonight could be the night the AISD School Board will finalize its bond proposal.
It is a multi-million-dollar, possibly billion-dollar proposal. And as our Jason Puckett joins us to explain, that billion-dollar possibility is the big factor here tonight. Jason?
Yeah, Mike and Quita, that billion-dollar line is key in this argument right now because if it goes over, it's going to mean a tax hike for you, the Austin taxpayers out there. Now, the board has met several times already discussing this bond proposal and have actually already approved 40 projects to the tune of almost $990 million. So far, talking about items like new schools and renovations across the district. Community members have also been speaking out at these meetings and asking to build a Northeast Middle School, among other possibilities. Now, those things are still on the list of things that could happen, along with other options. But as we've mentioned, Mike and Quita, it all comes back to that billion-dollar line. What they're going to be discussing again tonight is how many items can they fit within that number, and if not, how much further over the billion-dollar mark will they go to get these items in? Keep in mind, this won't actually be voted on until November when the proposal passed, possibly tonight, will be let up to the Austin taxpayers. But until that point, we'll keep you informed on this meeting and what's going on here tonight. For now, here live at AISD headquarters, I'm Jason Puckett, KVUE News.
Texas controversial sanctuary cities law gets its day in court.
A federal judge in San Antonio held a preliminary hearing today on a lawsuit that Austin, among other cities, joined to stop the implementation of Senate Bill 4 in September.
KVUE's Ashley Godot is live in San Antonio this evening. And Ashley, what went on during this hearing?
Well, Mike and Quita, after listening to more than 6 hours of testimony today, Judge Orlando Garcia says he needs more time before he makes a review, and he didn't say exactly when he will put that review out. Now, before the hearing started today, a crowd of SB4 protesters gathered outside the courthouse, chanting and holding signs saying the law is discriminatory and will lead to racial profiling. Our cameras were not allowed inside the federal courthouse, but we talked with representatives from both sides about their arguments made in court.
So today, the state of Texas asked the court to take the sensible step of ensuring that state and local officials are permitted but not required to inquire about immigration status.
One of the overriding issues that I think came out today is that every time the judge said, well, doesn't the law do this, this, and this, they came and said, well, we won't prosecute for that, right? But there's too much at stake for local police. They're not going to take a chance that maybe the Attorney General exercises discretion not to prosecute. That's not the way the law can work.
SB4 requires all law enforcement honor ICE detainers, which are voluntary requests to hold someone in jail while their immigration status is investigated. It also lets officers ask someone who is detained about their status. It prohibits law enforcement leaders from having immigration policies and prohibits elected officials from endorsing policies that contradict the new law. So plaintiffs argue that it is too vague and also violates First and Fourth Amendment rights. But the state, along with attorneys from the U.S. Department of Justice, argued the new law just requires cooperation with ICE. Again, the judge did not say when he will make his ruling. That new law is set to go into effect September 1st. Reporting live in San Antonio, Ashley Godot, KVUE News.
The Supreme Court plans to hear the case for President Trump's travel ban on 6 Muslim-majority countries. That's set to happen in the fall. In the meantime, the Supreme Court is letting the administration enforce the ban for 90 days. It applies to citizens of Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. Opponents argue that even allowing part of the ban to go forward is a setback, especially for refugees from the 6 majority Muslim countries targeted.
The fact that this is a temporary suspension gives us no comfort at all. Our clients' lives are in danger right now. They're facing ongoing threats, and by delaying their cases for 10 days or 20 days or 120 days, that means that they could be killed while they're waiting for the Supreme Court to make a decision on this case.
The court's opinion said 2 federal appeals courts that blocked the policy went too far to limit President Trump's authority over immigration.
Happening today, he caused a horrific crash that killed 13 people in Uvalde this past March. Now Jack Young, the driver of the pickup that slammed into the church bus, could soon be behind bars. The grand jury met today, hearing multiple cases against Young. The 38th Judicial District Attorney wouldn't say if he chose to indict Young on any charges. If they did, a warrant will be issued and Young will be in jail until a trial. The DA says his office is open to a plea deal, but it would require a lengthy prison sentence.
Hit-miss showers continue on the Doppler radar, and scattered showers in the forecast for this evening and again on Tuesday. Let me show you the radar. There's a couple of showers in Lee and Fayette County, some isolated downpours near Florence in the northwest corner of Williamson County, and also between San Marcos and Martindale, a little isolated shower developing. Additional development is out towards the west, and our high-resolution forecast model, this is it, showing those scattered showers and an occasional thunderstorm possible this evening up until about midnight or 1 a.m. Additional shower chances in the forecast for Tuesday before we head into a drier and warmer weather pattern. We'll talk much more about that coming up in your full forecast.
All right, thanks, Albert. Well, it has been 5 months since 19-year-old Tommy Ketterhagen was hit and killed while riding his bicycle in Georgetown.
Now his friends and family are pushing for better safety for cyclists in the area. KVUE's Williamson County reporter Christy Millward spoke to Ketterhagen's father, and Christy, he is leading the way on this.
Mike and Quita, as you can imagine, the pain and loss of his son hasn't gone away, and now Tom Ketterhagen doesn't want something like this to happen to anyone else. This quiet road in Williamson County, with minutes lapsing between each car passing, can be a popular place for dedicated bicyclists to ride. But now they're second-guessing it, as you can see by the white ghost bicycle that stands here. 19-year-old Tommy Ketterhagen was hit while riding his bicycle here in January and died.
That day was just so much shock.
Tom Ketterhagen, Tommy's dad, tells me they feel the grief every day.
Since then, my wife and I have tried to piece our lives back together, and nothing really fits back together.
But one thing is for sure, he doesn't want this to happen again. That's why he's urging Georgetown to come up with a bicycle plan. At the city council meeting on Tuesday, he'll propose ideas like a study to find out where the most popular bicycle routes are and adding extra signage to warn drivers. And in some spots, even creating a bicycle lane.
It's for the vulnerable, of course, but it's also for motorists. I mean, I drive a car. I like to know where bikes are going to be.
To show their support, Ketterhagen's friends and family plan to ride from Austin to the Georgetown City Council chambers Tuesday.
It just doesn't end. These people are they're in it for the long haul, and that's great because it's going to take a lot of effort.
It's because of these people and this community that Ketterhagen wants to see a change.
You don't want to get the call that your son was killed, and you also don't want to get the call that your child killed somebody.
Ketterhagen is even considering a proposal to name this same stretch of road after Tommy to remind everyone of the dangers. Also happening tomorrow, 20-year-old Aaron Richard Davison, the man charged with manslaughter for Ketterhagen's death, is scheduled to be in court for a hearing at 9 o'clock. Live in the newsroom, Christy Millward, KVUE News.
The puppy rescued from a hot car in Manor last weekend is still at a local shelter. The Austin Animal Center tells KVUE 20-year-old Chandler Bullen, who is facing animal cruelty charges, has not picked up Annabelle, his 10-week-old puppy. On Thursday, a Manor judge ruled for her to go back to her owner after paying a fee for her care. Right now, there's a petition to have Annabelle stay in the Austin Animal Center's care until a verdict is reached on Bullen's charges. So far, that petition has nearly 3,100 supporters.